Welcome to another episode on the Scouse Article channel. I hope you are loving the content so far. I am loving the support. I try and get back to all comments. I do want to dive more into what I've previously said about every business owner having to upload their own digital ID and the legal walk around it, because I have had so many comments on it. And before I do dive deep, if you can hit that subscribe button, it will be very much appreciated. Now, the legal walk around, and I have had loads of comments on this, and I just want to clear it up. So you can avoid giving biometric data in terms of a facial recognition and a fingerprint, but that is not avoiding the digital ID. So let me get into it. The belief registers through your accountant is that you are going to be avoiding having a digital ID and avoid government's face scan. So yet you skip the selfie, but a verified record is still created inside Company House gov.uk one login system. And so what I mean by that is you can pass your paperwork to your accountant, to solicitors, to the post office to verify your identity. And they can act as authorised corporate service providers. They check your passport, your licence, they confirm you're real. And then once they've confirmed that, you get a digital verified tick that goes to the Company's House. That tick sits inside the same infrastructure that powers the gov.uk one login. So your digital identity will exist. It's just being submitted through a third party instead of you. And for now, you have avoided a biometric verification in terms of a fingerprint and a facial recognition, but that doesn't stop it. So just bear with me. So the ACSPs are the Authorised Corporate Service Providers. They are regulated by professional bodies, so each of them use their own system, but they all feed into the same government database, and there is no public list as of yet of which firms have direct access to the portal. Now, the law shifted. If you know the Data Use and Access Act 2025, that act amended the Data Protection Act 2018, and it expanded lawful data sharing between government departments for fraud prevention and identity assurance. And what that did was removed the strict boundaries around retention and then allowed cross-department access to verify ID data. So you see, once a verified record exists, other departments can legally refuse or connect. So right now, directors that are going to verify through the ACSP system, through an accountant, through a third party, you're not going to be given your biometrics, but your verified record will include your name, your date of birth, your passport number, all matching existing government databases that they do store photos or fingerprints, Passport Office, Home Office, DVLA. So under the new data sharing powers, those records can be linked for identity assurance. So there's no new selfie that's needed. There's no new consent from you that's needed. The power is already there. It's just database matching. So that's how a non-biometric check today can become a biometric profile tomorrow. You see, the accountant route, it gives you the feeling of privacy, when in actual fact, it's just a little bit of a distance. Every verification still feeds through the central digital identity framework. So the infrastructure allows future upgrades, biometrics, behaviour tracking, digital wallets, without re-verifying individuals. So you can log in directly to the gov.uk one login or Companies House, and you yourself can upload the ID documents and biometrics and verify yourself, and the data goes directly into the government system. Or your accountant or an authorised agent can verify you instead. They just confirm to Companies House that you've been all checked out without having to give you biometric data directly. But further down the line, it's still going to be able to connect lawfully. You see, you can avoid direct biometric uploads directly into the government system. For now, if you've got an accountant, you'll still be compliant and protected from fines or company disclosure. And it is a legal route written into the new Companies House rules under the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act. So it's not as black and white as the framing it. If you've got an accountant or an authorised agent that can handle the verification. But further down the line, it's not going to stop that cross data sharing. So that's why and then you've got the Home Office, the Generic Identity Verification Service. And that one is the next phase of the verification of the biometrics. So the Home Office is looking for companies who can build tools that use face scans to make sure it's really you, fingerprint enrolment, and liveliness checks, which basically means a camera test that proves you're a real person, not a photo or an AI image. And they're calling that market engagement, which means that they're asking big tech firms, what would it cost and how would it work before officially launching these contracts. So they're already planning how to bring fingerprints and face scans into the ID system for the next phase of the identity assurance. So at the moment, even though you feel as though you've got a loophole going through the accountant, it's not, you can't beat the system. Because you see, they're not plans anymore, the contract's in motion, and the government is already spending money on systems that'll make digital ID mandatory for company directors. Right now, it's just that accountants can check the documents, but in a year or two, once the biometrics and the cross-database sharing kick in every verified record can be linked to your passport or face scan. So right now, the training accountants, testing fraud tools and building biometric pilots. You've got 3 different departments with one shared goal, a full digital ID network. And you can call it anti-fraud if you like. But when you look closer, and as I've been saying, it's the same architecture for national ID system. We're just starting it with businesses. Well, the first was the veteran ID rollout. This is how they're able to keep passing liability in terms of accountability when it comes to the data protection impact assessments and the transparency. And always, guys, I'll continue to update you, try and explain in the best possible way I know how, and keep providing the responses that I get from the Freedom of Information requests. I am just currently waiting to hear back from the Ministry of Defence. And as always, I appreciate your support. Until next time.